Now let's move on to talk about the attack phase. We're going to use two different ships. We'll put one here and one right here. There are two things about attack. One, you have to have the range to attack, and two, you have to be lined up on your opponent. In this illustration here, this ship here is 1, 2, 3 squares away from this ship. Now he's 4 squares away. With conventional weapons, you only cause this guy to lose a turn if you attack. So with conventional weapons, you really have to get fairly close to each other to cause any damage to a ship. So you have to be lined up, you have to have the range, and then you have to be lined up. For example, he's lined up here. Here he's lined up. You can see the diagonal line here. And of course, right here, he's lined up. But notice, right there, he's not lined up. He doesn't have a straight line between him and his opponent. So in this situation, he couldn't fire. Additionally, conventional weapons cannot shoot through nova. So in this situation, even though he's lined up and he is the proper distance away, he can't shoot through that nova. Also, how about right here? This guy is in the asteroid belt. This guy is not. Conventional weapons can't shoot through asteroids either. So this guy's safe from attack. What about a planet? Well, the rule is there's no fighting from or to planets, no fighting from star bases or to star bases, and no fighting from asteroids to or from, because they're all considered neutral ground. There is no fighting. Now let's talk about the attacks itself. This situation here, we'll say this ship right here is the one that just moved, and he says he's got the range, and he's lined up on this guy right here. So he declares, I'm going to attack this guy. He then rolls a white die. In this case, he gets a 3. He gets to add 1 to his die roll as the attacker, so he has a 4. We're going to say that the defender rolls a 2. In this situation, the defender loses the battle. He consults the battle resolution chart, and he finds out that he loses 2 shields in 1 turn, which he marks down on his ship's log. That's one scenario for a battle. But what about another scenario? What if the attacker attacks? In this situation, we'll say he rolls a 1. Well, he adds 1 and he has a 2, and we'll say the defender rolls a 3. In this situation, the attack has failed. The defender now has the option to become the attacker in a counterattack. If he chooses to do so, then he rolls a die. He would add 1 to his die roll, which would make a 6. And now the original attacker, who is now the defender, rolls a 2. And the guy who initiated the attack to start with will lose that attack. And he would be the one who would lose 2 shields in 1 turn from that particular position. Now, let's talk about what happens if the attacker, we'll say the attacker rolls a 2 and gets to add 1 and gets a 3. The defender also rolls a 3. This is a tie, and it's called a repulsion. And a repulsion means that the forces of both weapons strike each other at the same time, and therefore it bounces the ships off of each other. So in this situation, this ship would be bounced back 1 square, and this one would be bounced back 1 square. But notice something. This ship right here, he just landed on a purple dot, and he has to draw a deep space card. Now, smart players will do this, and I'll just give you a little tip here. Smart players will keep track of where their ships are and where everybody else's ship is. And it's easy to do because you see them. But you want to be careful. For example, let's say that we had this situation right here. This guy again is attacking. He rolls a 2 and gets a 1, adds 1 to his score for 3. This fella defends. He gets a 3. They both tie. It's a repulsion. He goes back 1 square into clear space. This guy goes back 1 square and lands in a Nova, and his ship's destroyed. So you can see the importance of tactically positioning your ship where you can take advantage of someone who hasn't been paying attention to where they've put their own ship. So that's just a little tip for you, a little technique for playing the game that smart players will take advantage of, and players who aren't playing quite so smart will make mistakes at. So that's the attack phase of the game.